It's probably the question on all of our minds right about now, especially with all of this Mars energy. It's everywhere, I tell you. So I'm in the office and I always do my research, okay? I always do my research in my industry, as I think all of us do, especially in 2020 bloody one. So we're all posed with this very unique question: what to do now? What to do now? And it's all, our minds are going to be incredibly busy. Sleeping is going to be impossible. Hi, Giggle. And I've come across a few videos which it's got, again, it's got my bloody Mars head ticking. And I think collectively, the astrology is just like, for astrologers, it's like, how do you sell? I saw this wonderful video and I was looking at the element of astrology, and then I moved towards something else. It's good old notes in Gemini, I tell you. So it's a bit like the gift of the salesman, really. So I come across this video and they were talking about how you can sell anything to anyone. And I was like, okay, tell me more. And in this video, which I'll have to find and I'll share it on the page, which is, it's a little bit like what we're dealing with right now. So I'll get to the point of it. And in this video, they had a insurance salesman, right? And this insurance salesman has a YouTube channel and changed his industry so that it would make people love car insurance. And I was like, okay, tell me more. How? And the thing is, I think sometimes it's a service we need as human beings. And this is the element of the dynamic in the industry at the moment we're in the world where it is, where we're needing to think outside the box. And with all of that Aries energy there, we're potentially telling ourselves it's impossible. We can't do something, right? So this car salesman has actually created a whole industry surrounding cars, V8s, selling them, souping them up. And instead of selling the insurance, they're selling a product. So they're bringing you into the business to fall in love with it, which is then the product is the product, but they're using it as a sundry. At the moment, globally, and it's funny because I did mention in the video, which I have put up for the new moon in Aries, is that emotionally, collectively at the moment, a lot of us can be feeling, is it going to get any better? Do we have what it takes to be able to achieve what we're doing? Are we good enough? Are we going to have love? Are things going to get better? And the odd thing is, when you look at astrology, especially with the North Node and the South Node, we have a lot to do with religion coming up, a lot to do with race, to do with well-being and health. We also globally have subjects relating to severe weather patterns and really disastrous things happen globally, which is really depressing, might I add. But the beautiful thing is when we look at it, number one, Aries and Chiron is first house placement. And it is where the wound and we are healing ourselves. And because we do have both Saturn and Jupiter in the house of Aquarius, it's globally. So sometimes we can feel very alone that we are feeling these things ourselves, that we feel not understood, not loved, not accepted for our race, our culture, our values, our beliefs, what we have to bring to the table, things to that degree. So, obviously we're always growing. And so YILDIZ in her, what do we call it? I think scientists call it the monkey mind. Is it the monkey mind, Giggle? Um, because it's evolving gradually, okay? Always as human beings, we're gradually getting there. And when we have an egoic purge, which admittedly, I'm sitting there listening to a video, really, really sad for the Australians that have lost their homes, that have had floods. My daughter had gone up north, so I was worried about her over the last few days. She's stubborn, I'm telling you. She's stubborn, just like her mother. So I'm telling her to come home. We've got a cyclone brewing. No, she won't come home. So sure enough, very lucky, but many have lost a lot of things. There's been floods, devastations in areas that, don't have protection and things to that degree. In other countries, there's also been there's famines, there's people starving. So the big thing is when you look at that first house in Aries, we really do need to understand in our ego when we're sitting here and with our subtle, and I always say this to myself whenever I'm triggered, I almost like get to a place where I'm saying to myself, Yildiz, you're but a speck of sand. You're but stardust in the sky. And not that it's irrelevant and not that I'm not important, but I am but one aspect of the bigger picture. So, in our wounds, when we do look at things and we're looking at our circumstances and feeling that potentially nobody understands us, we're very alone. When we look at the global devastation that's happening, it can be feeling unaccepted, cultural separation, financial displacement, homes coming up where we're really wanting that security, maybe being judged because we're not in a relationship. Whatever that energy is, when we do step back from the canvas, we really are collectively going through this all together. And the sad thing is, not one country is really immune to it. So, the start off and the kickoff of that very much was what is going on collectively. But with Uranus and Taurus, and we do have Taurus placements at the moment, you are finding that it can come down to agriculture land. Especially at the beginning of the year, we had a lot of things to do with the economy coming up. And being that the sun, is in Taurus at the moment, especially for Australia, it's agriculture land, and our zodiac sign is Taurus. Now, for America, you guys next month, with Mars moving into Cancer, you have Cancer in your chart, and you also have Pluto in your chart, which is a Pluto return for you guys. So for that area, it will be a lot to do with, the government, taxation, employment. There can be a lot of riots happening globally, where people are getting really cross. And because Aries and Chiron is in the first house collectively, emotionally, we feel very alone. But our voices, both Saturn and Jupiter, wishing to expand, wishing to express distress, dis-ease over these circumstances, and really having to creatively think outside the box of how we can help each other. So I think that's been one of the biggest things that's been ticking over my mind as late. At some point, I'm going to try and set up a fundraiser, and I'll well and truly, and I'll probably end up doing it monthly because there's so many things happening at a global level, that really, the buck stops here. I think all of us in some shape or form really need to be looking not only at the circumstances in our own lives, but at a very small level, because we are entering the age of Aquarius. It's what can we do to help our fellow citizens? Is it a person down the road? Is it helping them carry their shopping? Is it somebody is without food? Is there something at a very basic level we can do to make that better, to make this world a better place? Definitely some of you at the moment might be having, um, second guessing yourself, feeling that you maybe can't achieve certain things that, in this world that you are in your own personal world, that maybe it's very tough. But, as much as I totally, at a point in my awakening, did move away from looking at media and things to that degree, we also can't shy away from the fact that we are part of this world. And it's not, it can't permanently be ignored. It's right in our face. It's happening in our backyards. So, self-awareness is important. It also comes down to accountability. And no, we can't help the world, but it comes down to your moral compass of what you feel is morally correct, especially as spiritual beings. And I know in an awakening process, there are times and places for certain things. Moving into next month, it is going to get pretty active. We're going to have Pluto retrograde. We're going to have Mercury going retrograde. We're going to have eclipse as well. So it probably in the next week, we're moving beyond the emotion. We're setting our intentions and setting course for brand new beginnings. And sometimes these can be devastating things. With Mars placements, I was sitting there the other day, and the more I'm getting into the astrology and upgrading and looking at it, I'm able to look at weather-related dynamics. And I just kept looking at the chart, and I was thinking, okay, where's Neptune? Where's Jupiter at? And the big thing I was noticing was Mars. So many Aries placements, which, when aspected in astrology, can bring about catastrophic events, both because we do have Mars in Gemini, which is wind, and then adding the element of Aries into that dynamic, and it's catastrophic. So globally, if you do look on the news, you'll see subjects to do with that. And already playing out, we do have themes relating to Mars and Cancer, which can be accommodation, houses burning down, people being without accommodation, houses selling quickly. What other subjects? Yeah, flooding with Neptune. At the moment, our nervous system, any placements with Taurus, because we do have Uranus in the house of Taurus, it will link to your nervous system. So it's really important to eat healthy. It's really important to get to a point that we can keep our fluid up. You may be craving foods at the moment, sweets and things to that degree, because you're needing nourishment, but it can be dehydration as well. So it's always important to keep that, keep stock of it and have a look at how those things are going on with your body so that you can maintain it and keep it grounded. What else am I seeing in the charts? I have done the Scorpio moon energy, which I have put in the zone for the members, because that is part of my agreement with the members zone, is that I do place it into that zone ahead of time. So for those of you that haven't seen it, that are in the members hub, jump through and have a look. I'm already working on the next two moon energies. So we're going to be having what are we having? A moon in Taurus and the eclipse in Sagittarius next month. Yes, it's all coming. So this is where things are really kicking off. Some of these themes at the moment that are playing out, you can potentially look back to the beginning of the year, last year in January, between January and March, which is when the nodes shifted. And some of those themes can be coming up for endings relating to the Scorpio moon. And it's very Pluto in nature, very underrealm in nature. And it's both going to be happening at an emotional level, but it can be also happening at a 3D level, and it will be some sense of ending, especially relating to Pluto, because Pluto will be going retrograde as of the 27th. So I will have that video open soon. At some point, I may divide the moon energy into astrology updates per zodiac sign, but I'm gauging it at the moment to see how it's going to go, because I am speaking about astrological aspects inside the signs, which I was doing initially, but then the request for the romance reads come through. So I'm gauging it. It might be like a monthly video that I do. I'm doing the moon energies twice a month anyway. So I'm doing each zodiac sign. So I may turn it into mini videos per zodiac sign, so you're able to actually listen to them at the beginning of the month, maybe mid-month as well, and combine it between the romance reads in between. So feel free to comment after the video and tell me if that's something you guys will be interested in, because yes, I know we like the element of romance, which I am doing them intuitively, and at times other large subjects are coming through per zodiac sign. So I really trust the guides of what they're trying to show me, both from an astrological point of view and a psychic point of view. Any questions while I'm here? So any questions? So it can, with this new moon, you probably need to give it, with the full moon we had, you're probably going to need to give it a few days. And, let the Aries energy absorb in, move through it. Things will become a bit more logical as to where you're going to have your energy. You'll have more energy, point blank zero. Depending on the particular zodiac signs, certain zodiac signs, especially if it's in the 12th house, you'll find that you're psychoanalyzing things and you're getting to a point that your emotions can be really coming up. Yes, because look, the element of Pluto, the thing is, because we're going to be having, I'm noticing in the transits, many of us are experiencing the astrology 2 weeks prior, right? So, from a business point of view at the moment, the failings of it, because we have the access of the South Node and the North Node, number one is things that were set up and destined to last will stand the test of time, which an example was during the lockdown, we'll say. There was an old business that hadn't been used for years that they brought back up to the table, and it was still working, and it was a very old bread mill, and they needed to use that in order to get flour sold, because we were running out of flour because people were bulk buying. So certain things, if they're destined and that physical foundation, very Pluto in nature, it's like, okay, let's test this business kind of realm. Is it going to be sturdy? In America, because it's the 10th house placement, you guys potentially could have a bit of anger, frustration. Those of you working from home can have things coming up. You can be looking at that balance and things to do with, how to get that balance back. But it can also be like a business audit or a total ending of that and a beginning of a new thing. Always, you never leave a situation without learning something. Yes, sometimes it can absolutely financially ruin us. But those blessings, you end up being able to, if you can keep your head straight, recoup 20 times quicker and, really turn your life in a different direction. I'm in the UK, but definitely feel the frustration where I'm working hard. It's hard, though. I mean, even for me as a YouTuber, I've been coaching quite a few businesses, and that's the beauty of astrology, especially from, even though on my channel with the numbers that I've grown, I've learned a great deal, and now what I'm doing is with the videos, I'm also implementing a lot of what I've learned, and I haven't got that there yet, but I am seeing from the changes I'm making and from the coaching I'm giving to clients with their businesses, they're having growth and they're having expansion, and they're connecting them with their astrology, which is benefiting them. So yes, I do coach based on those elements, and it does help for the best times for launching, subjects that can come up, be it paperwork, dynamics, marketing. Now, this month with the Scorpio element of things, and especially with the South Node in Sagittarius, you can find that this is the time to grow, not necessarily fail. So the frustration has been there since the beginning of the year. We did have Uranus and Taurus in shadow. It went direct. We also then had Mercury go retrograde. And because of the fact we just had both Saturn and Jupiter move into the house of Aquarius, we needed to have that retrograde effect to understand. It's a little bit like somebody handing you a business and saying, okay, this is going to be great. Meanwhile, the astrology and, the world's changed, and we don't know what we're signing up for. So that retrograde effect gave us a 101 of going, okay, here's the flaw in your system. And Mercury's all to do with communication, technology, our direct actions, our speech, the energy we pour into it, our thoughts. So by psychoanalyzing that, viewing it in an experiment, we're able to then see the flaw in certain situations. And I definitely found with my business and my astrology, inside of my life, that yes, I did have to change certain things. I was carrying certain things, I was doing certain things in different areas, and it's always a perfect time to restructure it or to move away from it. So that did cause issues, especially because there were heavy Taurus placements. Plus, it was, yes, both Saturn and Jupiter were direct, but Mercury was retrograde in the house of Aquarius. Depending on whether you trade with other countries, and that's the one thing I have actually found, especially on multimedia, is that I've had to learn a lot about my clientele from the countries directly that I work with, doing my job, so to speak. So I do have a very large majority of clients do come from Europe and America. So I had to really learn the connection of USD, the time frame, there was a lot that went into it to understand it. You know, when America has their tax time, when they pay their land taxes. So the ebbs and flows of growths and dips do change based on what is happening in that location. So really becoming self-aware plus aware of your customer, so to speak, very separately because of what is happening globally. And because America is having a Pluto return, people are being more cautious about how they are spending their money. So it is about being creative, but also being rational to do with, hey, you have to feed yourself also. Does that make sense? I've been running a business for 4 years. They always say you've got to make it to the 5. I'm on the same boat as you. I've been running my business for years. It just seems like suddenly 2 of my clients have completely unrealistic expectations, and although I've set the boundaries, they don't seem to like that. Um, what zodiac are you, Dale? Well, it depends on if okay, they're your customers, but I mean, do they own the business or do you? You know? It depends on the circumstances. I think one of the most beautiful friends that actually gave me a gift of a lifetime, and it wasn't the money, it was the lesson. And they said to me, own your worth. And it's like you may second guess yourself and think you're not worth something. And again, it's currency. So it doesn't have to be the dollar value, but it's like, look, your time is valuable. You'll need to benchmark the reasons why. It's almost like you have to sell yourself on that. So it's a negotiation, so to speak. If the person is trying to push the buck, it's about explaining to them the benefits of why you are promoting it in that sort of fashion. Does that make sense? It's the art of negotiating. They're trying to get more than what they're paying for. Do you know your competition? Have you done research on your competition? That would be my suggestion. Again, I'm not a financial advisor. I've got to say that on YouTube, which is true. I'm not a financial advisor. Yes, totally makes sense. If you stand in your power and you actually do your research, you can put your money where your mouth is then, and you can say, look, from my experience, this is what I've seen. Because the thing is, in order to sell to someone, and I do this myself, I do a lot of research in the background. It's anything to do with video editing. It's to do with my clientele. I will physically look at other channels. I'll look at what I like. I'll look at what I don't like. I've had to learn a lot about the time frame and grabbing the audience. Audience want info. Get straight to the point. No ifs and buts about it. We want the information. We're here for a service. So if you directly know what your industry is, what the benchmark is, what you like, what you dislike, what you have to offer, you can sell yourself more effectively. And then confidently speaking, when that person is coming into the negotiation, you can be, look, I've done my, and you don't even need to say you've done your research, you know the deal. So you can then comfortably sit with it and say, look, I do totally respect and understand where you're coming from. I swear I should have been a salesman. I don't rate it. Anywho, but X, Y, and Z, if you can find a better price, bloody, bloody, blah, depending on your industry, and then you've got, it gives you more guts because you've done the legwork, you've looked at it, you know the variation of prices. I mean, during what's happening in the world, I did reduce my prices, and that was to be fair to individuals in different places of the world. Also, at times, I still do put discounts down, and I may be inclined to do it more at a permanent level, depending on how things go. At the moment, I'm still filling up, so it's moderating it, which, yes, pre-warned, forearmed, and this week's already booking up, and we are moving towards a very pivotal moon energy. So at the moment, some of you may be coping quite fluidly, but I can absolutely guarantee you the following week you probably won't. So, and again, if you have the tools in the bag and you can handle it, that is fantastic. But it can be a very trigger-worthy time. It can be a very emotional time of endings. and it is going to be a full moon in Scorpio, which is the underrealm. It's very much births, deaths, endings. We're also at the time going to be having Pluto going retrograde, which is very 8th house placement. So it can be a very uncertain time, a very emotional time. But with Mars at the moment, it will be moving into the house of Cancer. Those emotions can come spewing to the top. Yes, usually I don't get triggered. Yeah, it's hard at the moment because of the fact that we do have Aries and Chiron there. Just think of it this way, Colette, you got kids, don't you? You got kids, don't you? If we can say no to our kids and we can be really firm on how we feel to do something, we can do the same with adults, and it can be very calm and collected. Oh, shop around, do your research. Yeah, yeah. There are good ones out there. We're all, and that's what I mean. Even though we feel we're alone, both man and woman at the moment, all of us collectively in the globe are really getting to a point where we're very emotional, triggered. Things are changing. Some places in the world are working bloody hard. Other places in the world wish they could. Other places in the world can't even get water. So we're all going through this together. We, in our own little turmoil and our own little bubbles, we can feel very, very frustrated and maybe very compartmentalized. But when we do think, it's almost like you need to, yes, have tunnel vision, but be aware of what's going on in the world to give you that art of appreciation, to give you that fight so you can go, right, okay, yes, in the spectrum of things, I might not have A, B, C, but I have X, Y, Z. And geez, I'm grateful for that. So coming back down to that gratitude energy and that what is outside of your control that you can't change, maybe not right away. Trust the process and just keep yourself focused on service and what is within your control and really what you do have. And that's the thing that's going to keep you rational and grounded. And I'm not saying you're not going to cry, right? But it's going to keep you more, guided in that. Yeah, 100%. Hey, look, I'm not saying that you're wrong. I'm not saying that. Antonella, what did you want to know, my doll? Did you go look at the video? Seeing as I do know you have Scorpio in your house. And what's up with your boss? I still feel at a 50-50 level. They're completing a task, but they may not stay. They're still on the fence about it. They're not, how do I put it? It's sort of like one breath it's very neutral in the energy and another breath it's very standoffish. And you're probably picking up on it. Because, in their own energy, because each one of us, has our own path, there's transformations with life, there's changes with life. So at the moment, her energy, sweet, is almost feeling like at times the burden of the responsibilities of the job is one way, does have plans about life in other ways, but it's almost like her soul contract is to complete this. So to a degree, I think she will, but she's really not happy with work at the moment. Yeah. So like I said, navigate your decision of how you feel to do with that. And really for Scorpios, if you guys are unhappy with your work sector at the moment, it potentially can be coming up near the full moon in Scorpio. So really have a think about that. Yes. Thank you for the donation. I went to bed and I was like, do I work? I've got too much to do. And I know my body needs sleep, but then my mind was ticking and it's like, I'll do a quick catch up. So with the moon, I mean, geez, we're going to have Mercury retrograde again. You know, seriously? Universe, I am not impressed by this. I tell you, my business flourishes during Mercury retrograde, but it drives me crazy. You're a bad mum. You're a bad mum. I sent my daughter, well, I allowed my daughter to go on holiday during this time frame. I can't control her, okay? She's a very strong Aquarian. No. And yeah, end up having a category 3 cyclone. Smart move, YILDIZ. Of coming in the next month so far for me financially or business? Well, if you tell me, intuitively I can tell you that I'm seeing a woman energy, but if you give me your zodiac sign, I'll be able to psychically and astrologically interpret it. I would say big changes. I can see a female energy and something to do with location. I hope she's okay, Lois. Okay, when it comes to trade, I do believe you have 9th house there. This can be quite a big deal. Don't tap out yet. That's what I would say. Okay. Have faith in the process. You got 9th house, which can be very beneficial for trade. For near the eclipse in Sagittarius, it can be a little bit more transformative. You know, look back to where you were 2013, 2014, subjects to do with that can come up. And very separately, you know, even with this moon energy coming up, look back to where you were last year to where you are now, especially since the nodes had moved around March. But some of the astrology links all the way back to January. I'm seeing a female energy. Okay, call it. I don't know who this female is, but in some shape or form, she feels to be that she's going to be quite helpful towards you. This is a person your age. This is not your mother's age. This is a person who is your age. It feels to be either a new contract. This could be another person that comes in, but it feels like a female. Yeah. They feel of a professional nature. This can be, it could be a broker, it could be a bank. It feels someone who's directly advising you or working for you, but it's connected to you. You'll find with Mars and Gemini, there's more social activities, but you'll probably see, you know, teenagers as well on the media being naughty. You know, like school break, rubbish. Mars and Gemini, getting in trouble. Yeah, it feels positive. It doesn't feel negative. There you go. Because it was feeling like, you know, a bank loan, and I was seeing a female in a suit. She's got light hair. And I'm also seeing a building. So whatever you're doing, it does feel it's expanding. Okay, so that's good to me. That's what it looks like, call it. Yes, well, I'm seeing an office building. I'm seeing a woman standing there. So she even could be the person that is giving you a keys to the premises, because I'm seeing a building with black windows. That's okay. Send me the photos. God bless. Just save a little office space there for me. I'll Skype you. I still haven't set up my office yet. I'm still working from the other room because in between constant recordings, bookings, I haven't had time, and the internet coverage in there is much better. On the laptop, that is. Your cameo spot, cool. What I'll do is send you a picture. You can put me in front of a fake computer and we can just hang out, all right? Any other questions? As to As to if you guys need coaching in your business development or anything like that, come through, okay? I can give you tips on apps, services, websites, the best practice to grow on YouTube, which you just didn't follow at the very beginning and now have to backtrack and do it. But yes, I have been giving that advice to other people and they are becoming very successful, might I add. Yeah. Are you excited? Be open-minded. It's a brand new beginning on the planet. We are in the new moon. Well, come on down, Colette. Yeah. You should say, you know, a lot of things coming out where it's transforming, where and this is what Mars is doing. It's giving us that shove at the moment to get to a space that you can actually kickstart. So, like I mentioned in the video, if you haven't looked at the new moon in Aries video, go through and have a look. It's going to tell you your house placements. I do discuss the previous moon because they always axis and go towards the next one. Really between the full moon in Scorpio and then the full moon in Scorpio, new moon in Taurus, they're the cusp of each other, right? So we're sort of shifting between the energies to alchemize the energy. It's like a rotating cycle. So we will have, and funny enough, it's my bloody north and south node. So I'm like, yes, you'll just have fun. Part of my destiny. It possibly can because Pluto is going retrograde, which is to do with the 8th house, which can be legacies. And Aquarius, I'd have to go look at the chart. I'm good, but I'm not that good at the moment with my Mars brain. I'll go have a look at the astrology charts. My partner's asleep downstairs. I've set up in the other room. I'm getting new furniture and I'm painting. It's all dark here. Yes, Jingles. Oh, kitty, I love you too. I thought my cat was gone the other day and she was hiding behind the couch. Look at this. It's so funny. Oh, you're a celebrity. Are you being naughty? She's a character. She's very cheeky. She really likes it when I hang out with her. Okay, so for Aquarius, let's have a look. Probably going to wake him now. She is, I think she's got Siamese in her. She was a stray. I rescued her. Okay, let's have a look at your chart. Hello? 8th house. Yes, but it'll be paperwork orientated. Make sure you read it. Read the fine print. You got Virgo in that placement. But regardless, you do have at the moment the Scorpio full moon will be connected to your 10th house. That can potentially help if you do get it through. It'll probably help you with your employment sector. Yes, the money will be poured towards that, but you're going to have a transformation. The funny thing is, because you do have a full moon in Scorpio, it's a complete ending of one way of doing something, which can be a complete end of it, or a brand new beginning, but it can be, again, because it's Scorpio, that's to do with inheritance. It can be the money that comes through from there, bang, it swaps it over to create a new beginning. From endings and legacies. Yeah, my love and thoughts with you. I don't mean to be a cold cow. Well, I hope it goes through okay for you. The joys of life, right? What other thing can I say? Pay attention to your health. because there is Mars and Cancer is going to be really, don't burn out, you know, create, and that's where the test's coming from, because you have Mars and Cancer at the moment. You emotionally, as a woman, may be feeling a little bit like, and these themes to do with feminine energy can come up, and you know, we can get a little bit angry this month, but it's about embodying the masculine at work and not looking at ourselves as different and coming to the plate just as a human being, as a worker. You know, but maybe, again, sixth house can be the house of hidden enemies, but it also can be the point where, you know, you're really putting your energy into it, you're looking after yourself, but sixth house is all to do with healthy boundaries, give and take. So it's like, this is how I see it, and this is how it's going to be. No, but, you know, I want it cheaper. Sorry, that's what the price is. Yeah, just be careful not to Mars, people. And don't let it affect your health. You know, if you have anything emotionally coming up and you need to, you know, you're moving to extremes, practice breathing, eat slowly with your eating, and I just keep picking up on gut health. And that's because of stress levels, quite frankly. Any other super chats in the house that I wanted? While I'm here, I've got a pen in my hair. I went to bed like this. I am going to be doing a Juno retrograde, which is happening on the 13th, I believe. Is it the 13th or 14th? But the webinar is going to be on the 19th. And the reason I'm not too worried is because we need some time for that energy to settle in. So it's not like going to happen in 24 hours, but it will be quite major, especially because Juno is relating to twin flames, to connections, our relationship sector. It's in the house of Sagittarius, which is also linking to the South Node. And it's a spiritual test that Divine Feminine is emotionally going to be reflecting upon, as well as a test coming for Divine Masculine. So if you wish to join it, come and join the webinar. The tickets are on my website. They're $30, and I'll be sending out the link to everyone shortly, and that will be a chat by Zodiac to say what is going on with that. You keep feeling some way. I actually feel contact, Shelley, due to the fact that, what do you call it? I don't know. I really felt very strongly. But it's contact. It's not telephone call. It's physical contact. Very soon. Like, could be 24 hours. Very soon. Masculines collectively, probably not Antonella, because you got the Scorpio full moon, Dove. Okay, for Antonella, Scorpio, and you're lucky because I only do 11/11 or anything above because I've created a strict boundary with myself. Plus I got to eat. Okay, Scorpio. It's a new moon in the 8th house, which is it's kind of weird. How do I put it? I feel it's going to come down to your emotions, to come back to, can you bounce back? If you can bounce back, you're going to find you're going to be okay. But you have wounds relating to stability. Unless you can confront them and release and go into that circumstance very neutral, it's going to keep resurrecting itself to be challenging. It is very Pluto in nature, but the Mars placement is there. So, yes, there could be a new beginning. But as I said to you last time, you could physically, near that full moon in Scorpio, feel very different on the other side of that. And you could physically choose to bring something to an end because it's impacting the vibration of how you're feeling. right? Because Aries at the moment is in the 6th house. So, you know, health-wise, emotionally, you know, the gut churning, burning yourself out is where issues can come from. So, and that's a huge issue at the moment, because we do, how do I put it? If we can get to a point we understand that 2021 is a number 5 and it's a lot of hard work, and we can moderate and gauge our energy, we'll cope. But if we are burning the candle at both ends and thinking that we are unlimited energizer battery, well, it's going to not serve us well. So trying to get into that balance is going to be really important for you, so that you can keep going. But you physically may choose to, through anxiety, leave the circumstance, potentially with the astrology. All right. Leo next. Okay, what they're referring to is there was a question relating... Oh, hello. I forgot about that one there. I've got a durry there. I rolled earlier. It's a normal one. I'm not promoting it. Anywho. Okay, I'm being shown a conversation you had with them prior. They're still wondering. Does that help? You don't need to, darling. Shelley, you always look gorgeous. I think it's something to do with you at work and school, something to do with that. I don't know, but my guides are showing me a conversation. Like, it's either they're in awareness that you're going back and there's concern. Okay, we're not talking the hoo-ha talk. There's something they said. There is a thought, though, to do with you and school, and you get my gist? That's sort of what they're showing me. You will find a lot of masculines at the moment are really quiet. Oh. Thanks, Tal. It's out of fairness, really, because I had mentioned it a few weeks ago that, you know, okay, because in reality, the membership zone is $11.11. So it's like for super chats, considering I do a lot of work in there as well, it's benefiting you where you don't have to ask questions in there to pay. So to keep it 11.11 out here means come join. It's like, it's the same price, man. It's not rocket science. And I do enter in there to the twin flame room regularly. I say once a month, but it's always more. And it's very separate. We do the twin flames fire element. Yes, we do. I'm glad it helped. Hi, Kaya. How are you? What about at the other location? Let's have a look. Coming very close to the 4th house placement. It's time to move. This can also be home-based businesses, my love. Scorpio is hitting the 4th house placement. Are you applying? It's coming. It's a coming. You surely can. You're lucky I'm in this room again. So I started looking at the eclipse and I'm like, oh, there's no hiding from life, right? You know what you need to do. You know something, but there could be, what's it in relation to? Do you feel towards a circumstance that you're being harsh, or do you feel in general you're being critical towards self or a circumstance? It's one or the other. It depends on in the context. It's one card. I'm gradually updating the moon energy videos. I don't want to get you guys bored. Last question, because I'm going to go. Any other questions? I can't believe I look human at this point. Jeez. It's 10 o'clock. Now they look like horns. Heck. So that was for you, Kaya. You think you're still confused. Number one, your house, Leo Nix is coming up. Movement with home, get it sorted. I'm telling you, that's disaster pending with that 4th house. It's a full moon in Scorpio. Pluto's going retrograde in that domain. Hi, Failstar. How you doing? Did you have fun at work today, eh? How was the protein shake? Are the teeth clean? You're confused. What part are you confused by? You're still confused. Based on love, I would say, at the moment your career sector is highly highlighted. You can't find anything. It could be that something comes through a couple of days after, because it's an activation and a transformation of one way of being in a new way. And it can play out 2 ways. It can be physically, crap goes down at home, or physically, you end living in that one location and change to another. It can be decorating as well. And then with Capricorn retrograde, again, healthy boundaries. Look after your health, look after your diet, eat healthy. At the moment, we can be eating candy again, or be craving food and being really hungry and then grossed out. Just keep your fluid up, because Uranus and Taurus, and the Taurus placements at the moment, it's 12th house. It's heart chakra, yes, but because it's in the house of Uranus, it's the crown chakra, which can create thirst and affects nervous system energy. So eat healthy. Get your greens in you. All right. Anywho, thank you very much for your donations. If you guys do want videos based on business development or anything to that degree, connecting them with astrology, and you want that inside your zodiacs, give me a heads up after this video. Any ideas you have, shoot them on the video. I'm developing the channel again. I'm building it. So give me some tips and tell me what you're wanting. Things are going well. It's because you're looking at the detail. That's what that card can mean. That you know very well how things are going to go and have faith in it. Or if you're casting a critical eye on circumstances to quality assure it, that's going to work too. I hope that lands. Well, I feel very compassionate today. I didn't get as much done as I'd like to, but I just have learned in life to accept it. It's like, am I going to be in a mess in a few more days? Probably, but it's okay. Shit happens. Regularly. And I'm one of the lucky ones in life, I guess. Okay, guys, take care. I'll talk to you soon.